Today we're going to be looking at the Filament Bible by Tyndale. Filament Bibles are available in New Living Translation, which is what I have, as well as the King James Version. Tyndale was nice enough to send me the thin-lined, they sent me the giant print, and then they sent me a large print. See how thin it is? There are no study notes. So what's the deal? How is this a study Bible? Well, at the top of each page, there is a little tiny symbol. See that symbol right there? You take a smartphone or a tablet and you actually scan that little page mark, and immediately it pulls up all of these study notes. So the Filament Bible app is what we're going to be looking at. Now, the content of the app comes largely from the NLT Study Bible. So now, instead of doing a normal review here, facing the camera, I'm going to take you over to my desk and we're going to look and you're going to see what I'm talking about so you can see the Filament Bible in action. If you didn't catch our review on the New Living Translation Study Bible, go ahead and click this link here, watch that video, and you'll see us go through all of the content. For this video, I want to focus on showing you how the Filament Bible works and then a couple of features at the end of it that are really cool as well. Here's the large print version. This is blue leather, and like we saw in the video, it looks like a text-only Bible. So what you do is you open the Filament app. All right, so I've downloaded the app on my tablet. You can also do this on your smartphone as well, but I download the app. It opens it up. You're going to see an open screen, and then this icon right here at the top, you click that. It brings up your camera. And you're going to actually go right to the page that you want to study. So I'm looking at Exodus. I want to study this page in Exodus. So I write on that Filament app. And if you get the wrong page number, make sure it aligns. There we go. See, page 49. And that's the page in the text. So I click go. And it takes me to page 49. And that's Exodus 1 and 2, which we're at Exodus 1. So here's the things you can do in this, which is really cool. You can study. All right, so let's click study, and immediately it brings up the notes on Exodus 1 and 2. And these come largely from the New Living Translation Study Bible. It also, at the bottom here, it gives you a book overview. So this is the introduction. So you get the book background. Then it gives you people. So these are the people or the places or the individuals that you're going to encounter in Exodus. There's an entry on Egypt, on Pharaoh, on Moses, on Jacob, on Joseph. And then it gives you, if you click on themes, here are the overviews of this chapter, the oppression of God's people. Now, there may be more depending on what chapter you're studying, but those are available in the study part of the Filament notes. Then if you close out, if you go to reflect, it opens a list of devotionals. These are devotionals from a couple of different resources. This one is from Dancing in the Desert Devotional Bible. This one is from 1 Year Book of Discovering Jesus in the Old Testament. And then the last one, and this is my favorite feature. If you click on C, it takes you to a series of videos. These are Bible Project videos. You click on the video and it pulls it right up. It's going to take you right to the Bible Project video, which is just phenomenal. So not only do you have access to all of the study notes, but you also have access to a wealth of videos. This is an interactive map, so you can actually see the journey in the wilderness. Tap on the city or region to learn more about that place. Click on Midian, boom, there's an article about Midian. Click on Sinai, which is not the real Sinai, but click on it anyway. There's an article about Mount Sinai, and it'll tell you the precise location is uncertain, but the traditional location is this one. It's really cool. Little interactive map based on the chapter from Exodus that you're studying. Then there's an infographic on Israel's family tree, so you can see the different patriarchs. Just a wealth of information, all keyed to whatever passage you're studying. Let's do another passage. So here, I'm going to turn to randomly, let's get out of the Torah, let's go to Isaiah. So Isaiah 39, click the camera. I'm going to put it right on page 611. I'm going to go to page 611. And here we have Isaiah 37 through 39. Let's see what the Bible Project videos bring up. Isaiah 1 through 39. Israel's prophets, ancient empires, an interactive map. It's kind of cool. I've actually never seen this stuff. So here's a map of all the empires that were threatening Israel at the time. You can click on, oh, there's Babylon. That's pretty cool. There's Persia. There's Assyria. This is a really awesome study tool. Theme videos from the Bible Project, like the Exile, that are done incredibly well. If you're not familiar with Bible Project, get familiar with Bible Project. They're fantastic. They are who Disciple Dojo wants to be when we grow up. Here's a really cool infographic. These are all the prophets along the timeline, and then these are the number of words in their book. So these three big triangles are because those are the major prophets. Isaiah, he prophesied this amount of time, and his book is that many words. Jeremiah prophesied during this time, and his book is that many words. Ezekiel, that many words. And then Daniel's long life of prophecies that span that time. And then the minor prophets. I really like this a lot. Now let's look at the Bibles themselves. This is the large print edition. And it's a little big. It's not too big, but it's also got nice, large, readable print. In comparison, this is the standard, more personal size. Then there's a thicker, giant print edition. It's a lot thicker, but it's the same, I guess, footprint, you'd call it, of the pocket thin line version, but the font is giant. So this is what you want if you have not so great eyes. These just give you an idea of the different text sizes that are available in the different editions. So giant print, thin line, large print. Now in the back you come to the Tyndale Verse Finder, and it gives you different topics and where they can be found, some of the passages that deal with those topics. Now, this is interesting to me. This is the large print version, and the verse finder in the large print version is different. It starts with abortion, abuse, accountability, adoption, adultery. In this, the smaller version goes right to accountability. Giant print does the same thing. It doesn't mention abortion. It just starts with accountability. I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know if this version in the large print edition includes other topics that are not included in the smaller, more compact editions. Tyndall, what's going on there? That's kind of a random thing. After the verse finder, you come to this section, visual overview of the Bible. This is kind of like an infographic section. Here's a map of the world of the patriarchs. Here's a map of the Exodus. And then here's an infographic. This is really cool. The spiritual significance of the plagues of Egypt. We've talked about that in other review videos. Each plague of the Exodus targeted a specific Egyptian deity. So there's the plague, there's the deity it targets, all through the gods of Egypt that the Exodus was targeting. Then you have this beautiful visual depiction of Israel's agricultural year. So we can see how the modern months line up, the Hebrew names of the months, the numbers of the months. So the biblical month of Abib or Nisan was the first month. Well, that corresponds to part of our March and part of our April. And then these are the annual festivals and where they fell on the Hebrew calendar and what festival they are and what verse of the Bible that festival can be found in. Then there's a map of the tribes of Israel, including a map here of the conquest. And then I really like this one a lot. Here's an overview of the Psalms. These are all the Psalms. The circle represents how many verses there are. So the bigger the circle, the more verses there are. You can see Psalm 119. It has 176 verses. It's the longest of the Psalms. But then it groups them by the main theme of each psalm. So Psalms of praise. These are the Psalms of praise. Songs of thanksgiving. These are the songs of thanksgiving. Songs of lament and vindication. Look how many there are. This is the dominant theme of the Psalms, is crying out to God for lament and for vindication. I love this. This is a fantastic resource and a way to think about the Psalms as you're reading through whichever one. Then that infographic that we looked at on the Filament app itself, and then a map of the exile. Then we have on the ministry of Jesus. This is one of my favorite infographics. These are all of the references in the Old Testament that are found in the Gospels. Matthew, there's 33 quotes, and it shows which books they quote from. Matthew quotes from Isaiah 15 times. He quotes from the Psalm 9 times. He quotes from Malachi once, Zechariah 3 times. You can see which Old Testament books influenced which gospel writer. And then these are the Old Testament prophecies at the bottom, what the Messiah is to be, and then where it's fulfilled in the New Testament. Then we have the journeys of Peter and Paul and Philip, and then a bigger map of Paul's missionary journeys where he traveled throughout the Mediterranean. And then at the very end, these are the number of Old Testament quotes in each book in the New Testament. I love this. So Romans quotes 58 Old Testament passages. Hebrews quotes 39 Old Testament passages. Peter, 13, James, 5, John, 2. And then at the bottom here, these are the Old Testament allusions found in Revelation. And these aren't all of the Old Testament allusions. There would be too many to list. But these are a number of them, like the four horsemen. That comes from Zechariah 6. The four living beings. That comes from Ezekiel 1. So these two resources alone are incredible enough. But including all the other ones in the back, this is, for a study Bible that's so small and compact, even in the print version, this is excellent. I am definitely a fan of this. So, again, that was kind of low tech and, little handheld walkthrough, but I figured that was a better way of showing you than trying to hold it up to this camera so you can see what's going on. Do I recommend a filament-enabled Bible? Absolutely. I love the idea. I think it is great because it uses modern technology to bring a vast number of resources into the palm of your hand. I think that we live in a time of incredible technological development. It can be dizzying. It's literally changing our culture and our society, but there's no reason why digital tools shouldn't be able to do for biblical study what the printing press did or what the codex did before that. Scripture and God's Word have always been at the head of technology advancements, especially in terms of communication throughout the world. I don't know if this is going to be the final iteration. I mean, I'm sure it won't be. I'm sure there will be, Filament 2.0, 3.0, whatever. But just moving in the direction of taking smartphone technology, taking tablet technology and internet, and using that to give people greater access to biblical resources, I think it's fantastic. I could see teaming up with publishers to make entire commentary sets available in some way, shape, or form. I mean, there's no limit to what can be done. And what I really like about it is that you have this wealth of material at your fingertips in Bibles that are easy to travel with. Packing this is a lot easier than packing this. Giving these to graduates or to people overseas or to family members, a lot easier than giving these, and a lot less intimidating because this is like a personal Bible. It's a really nice one. It's like something you would give to a high school or a college grad. My only critique, if you could even call it that, because I guess this is done by Tyndall, and Tyndall may not have the rights to do other translations other than King James and the New Living Translation, but it would be great to see something like this with other translations. However, if you have access to the internet and a smartphone or a tablet, then you have access to YouVersion, so you can read any translation you want and then key up the notes in your Filament app to whatever passage you're reading here. All the translations are at the tip of your fingers anyway, so that's not a huge critique. I would recommend the New Living Translation over the King James. I just think it's a better translation. It's more accurate. It's based on better manuscripts, but either is great because the Filament notes and the visual outlines and the Bible Project videos and all of that stuff that you're getting with the app, that's the main selling point. So the translation is almost irrelevant. Probably in a future Bible review video, I'll do a contest giveaway for this Filament edition. And in order to win, obviously you have to watch, you have to be a subscriber. So stay tuned. As always, check out our other Bible review videos. And if you have any particular study Bibles you would like us to review, by all means, let me know. If you're a publisher and you have study Bibles you would like me to honestly review, I can't promise I won't critique it, but you will get an honest review and one that is geared towards helping equip, engage, and empower people in their Bible selection choices. That's it. We will see you next time.